Quoss now an 88% favorite.
And most of the time he's going to check here and let Adams keep firing.
Quoss does check, and Adams checks behind. King on the turn!
Nightmare turn card.
Well, based on that little information, it does look like it's about to be a nightmare for Fabian Quoss with top pair against Timothy Adams turned set. That's gonna suck. I'm going to be excited to see if Quoss can get away from it or find a way to lose less money.
Or will Timothy Adams be California dreaming his way to the final table?
Explain that.
Because a nightmare he's dreaming, you know.
Wow. California, though?
It's a song.
Okay.
Popular song.
This guy with the cultural reference is very good.
Bam.
So anyway, this is a pretty cool hand. It was suggested on Twitter by Daniel Pare. This is where you suggest hands. Do it. Suggest the hand. Include a YouTube link.
This is a 100K buy-in unlimited rebuy event, but we are down to it now. There's like, what, 14 players left or something like that? So everything's getting serious for sure. And of course, these are two of the best players in the business, Timothy Adams, Fabian Quoss.
Now, if you want to play in some buy-ins that are pretty fun, you should probably check out Nitrogen Sports Poker Room, which is where the poker guys play. And we have a tournament every month at the end of the month that you have to use the link in the description of this video if you want access to.
And it's a great tournament because it's a super small buy-in, it is a huge prize pool, and there's always a massive overlay, which means there's a lot more money in there than should be. You really can't afford not to play this, guys.
And that money is in the form of Bitcoin because Nitrogen is a Bitcoin-only poker site. That means lightning-fast deposits and withdrawals, no BS, no waiting a week. How about 20 minutes? How about less?
How about that? How about 2 free transactions per month, meaning you get to withdraw for free? They don't even charge you for that.
So get on there, use the link. Now let's get to the hand.
Timothy Adams is currently 9th in chips, and he's just 3-bet Cyril Mitzi pre-flop. Adams with kings. Fabian Quoss wakes up with ace-jack suited in the small blind.
This hand is actually a little light to be 4-betting. This could cost him.
He does 4-bet, re-raising to 135,000. That will get rid of Mitzi. Action back on Adams.
Does he 5-bet or does he flat?
Signs point to 5-bet.
1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, 5-bet.
A re-raise to 210,000.
Super small 5-bet. He's giving Fabian really good odds to make this call and take a flop.
Quoss does call.
Right around 5 to 1.
Nearly 500,000 in the middle.
Okay, we have to stop it quickly here because there is an era-dependent thing going on that you don't see anymore. And these guys are elite and they would never do this today. But look at the sizing. Is this okay?
No, it is not okay.
You're right.
This is a thing that everyone did. I never really understood it. I certainly don't understand it now. How can Fabian Quoss 4-bet out of position from the small blind so small that he forces Timothy Adams to call with essentially his entire range? How can Timothy Adams 5-bet and force Fabian Quoss to call with his entire range? Don't we ever want to have bluffs here? Don't we ever want to have fold equity?
I mean, as Timothy Adams, when we 3-bet, don't we want Cyril Mitzi to have to pay a little bit more when we have kings? When we're Quoss and we 4-bet, don't we want Adams to fold his suited connector light 3-bets? I mean, what is happening here? This is error dependent. Obviously, these guys are elite.
Yes.
Everybody was playing this way. I think it's clearly wrong, and I think the poker community realized it. We just had to point that out. It's just so different.
The only good thing I can come up with any of this is Timothy Adams is already putting in a third of his stack pre-flop. I think he's trying not to look even stronger and even more committed to at least preserve the illusion of fold equity for Quoss.
Sure.
But I don't think anyone's going to fall for that. He's put in more than a third of his stack pre already.
Yeah, it's just really weird, and it seems to have been corrected.
Yes.
Anyway, let's see how the rest of this plays out.
The flop is ace high. Quoss now an 88% favorite.
And most of the time he's going to check here and let Adams keep firing.
Quoss does check, and Adams checks behind. King on the turn!
Nightmare turn card. I'd still be surprised if Fabian lost a ton here.
Quoss is officially drawing dead. Check, check, 6 on the river.
Both guys playing this perfectly. Adams checks back the turn, assuming he's up against some kind of big pocket pair or medium ace that's not going to call off a whole stack anyway.
Quoss checks for a third time. Adams going for value, 202,000. Quoss shaking his head.
Fabian thinking through the hand, analyzing it, maybe taking a look at a Quoss section.
What in the world is Fabian Quoss actually thinking about here?
I know.
I mean, this is a pretty clear check call in theory, right? Like, we played this hand to allow for Timothy Adams to bluff. No one's put in any action at any point. How can this not be a check call? This has got to be a check call.
Don't you mean a check call?
Well, I do. But
That's really the key to this whole thing.
Yeah.
It's 3 times that Quoss has checked top pair. Adams never bets until this moment, and Quoss doesn't look happy. I mean, is this a legitimate tank, or is he just Hollywooding?
Quoss is not the type of person to Hollywood,
No.
so let's go deep, or as they say on CSI, enhance,
Okay.
and look a little bit closer at what is Quoss thinking and why is he not already calling? Well, here's the biggest thing. Steven Adams 5-bet. Timothy Adams is
Steven Adams is a basketball
He
player.
is. He's actually quite good. He might 5-bet as well. But
Yeah.
Timothy Adams 5-bet on the button. If you think about the range of hands he's doing that with for value, we can't beat any of those as Fabian Quoss right now on the river when Adams bets this much on the river. However, if Tim Adams was bluffing pre-flop, wouldn't he have taken a shot before this?
I mean, for sure, on an ace-high board, he would have taken a shot before the river if he was bluffing. I think we can almost entirely eliminate bluffs from Adams' range. Now, he might have queens or jacks some of the time, but would he actually bet this on the river? Is there any value in betting those hands?
If he somehow was going to bet it, would he bet this amount? Isn't he if you've got queens, you're targeting jacks. Can jacks call this amount? Not often. We bet often, most of the time we bet much, much less with a hand like queens or jacks to get called by an even worse hand.
But we're never betting that hand anyway, right?
It's very unlikely we'd ever bet
On this
them.
run out, we're just like, well, that didn't work out. That's pretty bad.
And that's okay. The pot's, I
hope,
play the pot pretty.
I hope Fabian has 2 10s. He's never calling with 2 10s. I hope I just get to check and win with my 2 queens.
Right, of course. That's almost certainly what we'd see, especially in a tournament setting. In a cash game, maybe you try and squeeze some value. In a tournament, those chips are so valuable. You just cannot make a game theory disaster. We wouldn't expect Timothy Adams to do that.
Ultimately, I think what really is going through Quoss's mind as he struggles with this decision is if Adams was ever bluffing, would he ever let me get to the river? I mean, would he ever let me try to catch up with anything that he could just get me off of and protect against earlier? Would he ever not bluff an ace-high board on the flop or the turn at least? And then on top of that, Adams has a lot of value in his range that might decide to slow play this way. It just feels super value-y. It feels like ace-king, pocket kings, or pocket aces pretty much all the time.
Right.
And maybe ace-queen if Adams is really tricky, but obviously we're losing to that too.
Yeah, it's never ace-10, right?
No.
Never, ever in a million years is it ace-10.
To be clear, because he wouldn't 5-bet that pre-flop.
Right.
Yeah.
And he'd probably bet the turn anyway. But even if he wouldn't, he's never 5-betting that pre-flop. For the same reasons, it's never ace-jack. So we're not even chopping. By the way, calling a chop isn't good enough.
So is this a fold then? Should he fold?
I mean, look, after all we just said, probably. We spent 45 minutes on the podcast getting to this moment, so probably. We can see the cards. It makes it a little easier.
Yeah.
In practice, I can't imagine folding this hand
No.
in this spot. But he's supposed to fold, I think, since we beat no value and there shouldn't be any bluffs that are here.
Yeah, I think if I was there, I would absolutely call, and it would be quick. I'd throw the chip and be like, I hope it's okay, because I've checked 3 times and he bet, like, how can I fold? But when we really think about it, and we did for 45 minutes, as Jonathan said, we think this is a fold, and the impressive thing is Fabian Quoss is thinking about that in not nearly that much time.
I mean, I don't see how he can actually make a fold here, but just the fact he's thinking about it and is aware that something's wrong is super impressive.
Let's see what he does.
He called the 5-bet pre-flop. He hit top pair on the flop. And he lets it go. What a fold.
Excellent disciplined fold. Assumed Adams never plays a bluff that way and correctly lays it down.
Well, he actually did it. He folded. Fabian Quoss, with the scarf still, so good.
This is why the Germans have crushed the high rollers for so long. They make folds like this, I guess.
I mean, come on, man. That was crazy, but amazing.
It was insane.
So,
that was insane.
Let us know what you think about this. First of all, you can feel free to weigh in on the pre-flop stuff like we did. But most importantly, how this hand played out. Do you think you could make this fold? If you think this is an easy fold, let us know why in the comments. If you think this absolutely should be a call, which I would have thought until we spent a lot of time talking about it.
I'm sure we'll hear some good arguments for this should absolutely be a call.
This is a really interesting spot. Let us know in the comments as well. We're looking forward to seeing what you have to say.
Now, I would call that fold elite. I mean,
oh my
it
gosh.
feels really elite. Now, we've done a lot of elite plays on the breakdown. Those are probably my favorites. Those are a lot of fun. If you want to check all those out, click right up there.
Everyone's favorites for sure, and the elite favorites. Definitely check it out. Of course, we spent 45 minutes, as I mentioned, talking about this hand on our podcast, The Breakdown, presented by the Poker Guys. That's where we always delve into one hand, crazy, crazy deep. We talk about all the possible decisions. If you want to go super deep, that's how you do it. Check it out on your favorite podcast app or iTunes.
And if you like this video, make sure you subscribe to this YouTube channel.